Alright, so recently in the comment section of one of my videos, I was asked about ectoplasm. Now, the story I'm about to tell, I've actually only told 2 people this story in my life. My spirits have not even heard this story yet. And they're about to, so I'm kind of curious as how they're going to react to it. Now, I just want to say beforehand, none of my spirits have ever done this to me. I've definitely felt them. I've felt my hair move. I've felt them like snuggle up to me, and when they do, it's warm. It's a warm energy. I've felt them snuggle up to me. I've felt them press when I'm laying down. I've felt them press themselves against my legs. You've seen orbs fly into me. None of this has... Oh, yeah. Hold on 1 second. Somebody's getting fussy. Alright, so now, you're alright. So, my spirits have never done to me what I'm going to tell you about in this story. No, I mean, I've felt, you know, a lot of times you'll hear people talking about they feel like cobwebs on them, and there's like no cobwebs nearby. That is the brush of ectoplasm. Basically what ectoplasm is the physical manifestation of the spirit. They've actually gathered enough energy to give them some density. Now most of the ectoplasm I have felt, I mean, very gentle, there's really nothing to it. Nothing along the lines of Peter Venkman getting slimed by Slimer in Ghostbusters. Except for this one instance. Now, I was a child, and if you've watched a lot of my videos, you know as a child I grew up in a very haunted house. And I was ready for school. I was walking down the hallway to go to the front door. And in the house that I grew up in, we had a pretty long hallway. Every room in the house led off of this hallway on both sides of the hallway. So to even get to the front door, you'd either have to go through all these rooms on the side or just right down the front, right down that hallway. So I was heading towards stop being fussy. Mommy's doing something. Stop being fussy. So I was headed to the door. I was on my way to school. I was probably about 9 or 10 years old. And I had to have been saying something to my mother over my shoulder, because I remember turning around and there was this white phantasm in front of me. And that's what I'm going to say, phantasm, because I didn't really see anything except this dense white shape. And it wasn't until I was able to process everything later that I felt it was feminine. So before I really had time to, I mean, literally, it's like right here, right in front of my face. Like I was about to slam face first into a wall. And before I had a moment to even step back or stop from my forward motion, this thing went through me. Now, if you don't stop, you're going in the other room. I don't know if this was a sentient entity I have to imagine that to gather that much energy, it would have to be. And I don't know if it did it to get my attention or if it was trying to attack me. Because that's what it felt like. It felt I'm going to try to describe it to you, and like to this day I still have a problem with it, because that's why I really haven't told a lot of people about what happened. So I want you to imagine it so you understand it better. We've all been like outside on a hot day and we've had a cold drink. And, you know, especially if you've been playing sports or something like that, you take something right out of like a cooler that has ice, or you get it right out of the ice box and it is really cold. And you drink it, and as you drink it, you can feel the cold going down your throat and into your stomach. And sometimes you can feel the cold in your stomach. We've all felt it, so I know you know what I'm talking about. So I want you to imagine that feeling of ice cold inside of a hot body passing through it. And what it felt like. It was thick. It wasn't like the cobwebs. It was thick, and it felt like Jello sliding over my organs, through my body, and out the other side. Literally, like covering my stomach, my kidney, my liver, sliming over it and coming out the other side. And while it was doing that, I actually felt another person, like another consciousness, as it passed through me. It didn't try to possess me, it just passed through me. And I felt the sense of another person. And after it went through me, I dropped to the floor. I was speechless. I couldn't breathe. Like, I was like breathless because it just like knocked the wind out of me. My mother didn't see this entity. She saw me drop to the floor, and she came over and was like, "What's wrong?" And I couldn't tell her. I didn't understand what had just happened fully. But I was fucked up for the rest of the day. I felt violated. And I know that term is used a lot with people who have been sexually abused. And I am not putting myself in that category, but what happened was in terms of violation. I felt disgusting. I wanted to throw up. Because even thinking about it, I can still feel that sliding over my organs. And it's one of the reasons why I try not to think about it. And again, I don't know if this was an attack, a direct attack on me. Thankfully, it never happened again. And thankfully, none of my spirits have ever done that to me. But it was the most disgusting thing that has ever happened to me in my life. And it is traumatic. To this day, I mean, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I've got like tears just thinking about it. It's something I hope no one else ever has to feel or go through. And really, I don't want to know why it happened. I really don't. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to really ever think about it again. But somebody wanted to know what ectoplasm feels like. I think that's what the question was. What it feels like. What's my take on it? That's what it feels like. And that's my take on it. And spirits that are good to you, spirits that care, they're not going to do that to you. At least pass through you like that. You might feel like a brush against you. It might feel like cold. It might feel a little wet, but when you touch yourself, you're dry. I felt that too, but they've never ever passed through me. So yeah, I just want to make this video and let you know that if something like that does happen to you, I would take it as an attack, because spirits have plenty of ways of getting your attention, and they don't need to do that. And if you feel that inside of you, you need to push it out. And I understand, you know, because of what I went through. Thankfully, it didn't linger inside of me, because I don't know that I could have pushed it out because I didn't understand it. But that's another reason why, as difficult as it is to talk about this, to think about it, to relive it, if anything like this happens to you, at least this knowledge is somewhere in your brain so that you can understand what's happening and you can say, push it out, push it out, push it out. Because, like I said, I didn't know what was happening at the time, and it happened so quick. It took me a while to process the whole thing, and to try to understand it. And to this day, I still don't understand it, and at this point, I don't want to. But I thought, especially for people who are interested in the paranormal, who have spirits, who maybe are doing paranormal investigating and going into places that may not be safe, if that happens to you, that's what it is, and you need to push it out with the force of your own will. You can push it out, and you need to push it out. And the way you would push it out is you imagine your entire soul filling up every pore in your body to push it out. And I know that when you're under attack, it's really hard. You start panicking. You're not thinking straight. But you got to think back to this video and think back to what I'm telling you. And you have to try to control the situation, because if you lose control, they will gain control. So I thought it was important to make this video, as unhappy as it is for me, but if it benefits somebody in the long run, then at least what I had to go through was worth it. So I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.